Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Coach Slaus, and if you are new here, I'm a track and field athletics coach. My goal in 2025 is to document more of the journey, more of the process behind the scenes of what it takes to try and pursue a career in track and field athletics, both coaching and as an athlete. So what I'm going to show you is, from my perspective, my behind the scenes, how I kind of go about comp days and training and everything like that. And I'm also going to show you as much as I can of my athlete's journey as well, without I don't want to be shoving a camera in their face and interrupting them, but I'm going to try and show you the whole picture, the stuff that people don't share with you on social media. So today I am heading to Sheffield for the Northern Indoor Athletics Championships in the UK. If you have followed us on TikTok and Instagram, you will be aware that I coach 12 athletes. 2 of them aren't competing indoors because they're carrying injuries or coming back from injuries. 10 of them at some stage will be competing indoors. This weekend is a crazy busy one. We've got Fran and Zach running the 400 metres at the Northern Indoors today. We've got Laura competing over 400 metres out in Germany. We've got David competing in a heptathlon in Spain to get the qualifier for the Spanish Championships. Even though he was the outdoor silver medalist, he needs a standard for the indoor champs. Then Evan is competing in the Irish Senior Champs heptathlon as well. And then we've got Will running the hurdles in Loughborough tomorrow. So it's quite busy, it's quite hectic, but it always is, and I wouldn't have it any other way. My plan today is to drive down to Sheffield and show you a little bit behind the scenes of today's competition, maybe some updates on what the other guys are doing, and yeah, just put together a vlog that is going to show you guys as much as possible of our journey and like the real side of it. I want to show you the real side of track and field athletics at maybe not the top level, but of athletes aspiring to get there. So we're going to jump in the car. It's -5 outside, which isn't ideal, and we're going to head down to Sheffield, and I'll take you guys with me. So we have made it down to Sheffield and it is absolutely freezing. It is -3. I'm so glad that we are indoors today. I'm going to walk down to the indoor track now, go find Zach and Fran, and then get straight into the warm-ups because they're racing in like an hour and a half. Obviously, I'm too tight to pay £5 to park at the actual arena, so I've parked like, 500 metres up the road for free. But yeah, I'm a Yorkshireman. So once I arrived at the venue, I headed round to find Fran and Zach, and they were already in the warm-up area because it wasn't too long before they had to get ready to race their heats. So we went through some drills, some block starts, and made sure everything was good to go. Fran was up first in a heat of the 400 metres, so she was in the senior women's 400. Last year she was a junior. This is her first race as a senior, so the standard is obviously way higher. The goal for Fran was to try and make the final. We knew that she had to go really hard in the heat and just do whatever she could to get into that final and give herself another chance of running a fast time. So before they race, obviously they go through some block starts, they make sure everything's firing, they check everything's going well. And to be fair, Fran was looking really quick. The plan was to go out really hard here in the heat, and she did. She got a really good start. We've been doing a lot of acceleration work over the winter, and we've been doing a lot of endurance work. The problem we've got at the moment is that middle bit. We haven't been doing a lot of the speed endurance, like the 100 to 200 meter work. So she went as hard as she could through the first 100 to 150, but here she's relaxing. She was going up against Tess McHugh, who was the favourite by miles. She had been running crazy times last year. Fran went through here in about 26.5, which is probably a little bit slow for her for indoor running. If you don't know about indoor running, you tend to go off really hard in the first lap, and then it's just survival of the fittest. Here, she's holding her form pretty well, but for Fran, she's thinking she's more tired than she is. I know that sounds silly, but she needed to be a little bit more confident here and keep pushing because she has a lot of strength. The endurance work is there. And as you can see, she's still moving forward, still fighting for a place. She gets into the top 2 and a big qualifier into the final with a new PB of 57.7, a 1.1 second PB that was.
Next up was Zach in his heat of the 400 metres. Again, like Fran, Zach's moved up an age group. Last year he was in the under-17s, now he is into the under-20s. And again, he is a 400 metre hurdler, just like Fran, rather than a 400 metre flat runner. But this is really, really good for him to get that speed work in, break up the winter training and really test himself. On paper, Zach was kind of an outside shot at the final. When we looked at the PB times, he was going to be in the mix of making the final. So we just had to hope that he would run some good races. Again, here he is setting up his blocks and getting ready for the race. With Zach, he doesn't have tons of natural speed. We're working hard on it. His strength is his rhythm and his ability to just maintain his form and be really, really strong at the back end of a 400 metre hurdles race. So indoors for him is a little bit of a test. The plan again, like with Fran, was to go off really, really hard and try and get to the front and control the race. He didn't get out as well as we wanted, and here you can see he's got to work quite hard to get to the front. We were expecting a 23 high, and it was actually a 24-3, 24-4 split at 200, which wasn't ideal, but he was in the front, and now he's just got to assure that he gets into that final. So he's controlling the race. He's still pressing down the back straight, but he's listening out to the footsteps of the people behind him and just holding back something in case he needs to respond. Comes round here into the final curve, nice and clear. He is rocking and rolling a little bit more than I'd like to see, but you can see he's not got his foot down fully. Finishes in 51.7, nice and easy, and a new indoor PB by half a second. On to the finals. So, Frank actually qualified in a really good position. She's got lane 4 here. The two girls outside her are way, way quicker than anything she's ever done before. So the goal is just to hold on to them if she can and try and run a new PB. So she gets out really well, just like in the heat. However, this time, she's spinning a little bit more. We're getting a bit more speed pressed all the way around this curve. And the goal was to try and get closer to 26 flat through 200, and I think it was around 26 1 or 2. So that's not too bad for Fran. And as we get into some more speed work, I think we'll find another half a second there through the first lap. Here, Tess and Ella started to get away from her, but we knew that was going to happen. Those two are really, really fast. For Fran, this is all about her against the clock, and can she get a medal? So she's running really, really strong here. Again, this is where I'd like to see Fran have a little bit better rhythm. She's fighting a little bit with 150 to go instead of kind of relaxing, but that's really, really hard to do, and it takes races. Into the home straight, and at this point, we knew she was going to get the bronze medal. Now it was how fast can she go? And she did another big PB down to 57.01 seconds. Next stop has to be into the 56s and trying to get close to that British Champs qualifier. Then we had one race left to go, and it was Zach in the final. By this point, we were a little bit confused because the boys that he'd been racing and the boys in the heats and stuff hadn't ran super quick times. So we now thought maybe there is a medal and the chance of winning. There was a false start, which obviously doesn't help the nerves. So the athlete in lane 6 got disqualified, which we were hoping he would pace Zach a little bit because he had a fast 200 time. But it was now down to Zach to get out there, and he did. He really got out there, committed to this race. However, I think he could have pressed a little bit harder. Here, as he's coming round the bend, I think he knows that he's leading. He's going to make it to the break in first place. And I think he thinks he's going faster than he is, because actually it's slower than it was in his heat. It's 24.5 or 6, and he's got a couple of metres lead. If he could have gone through in 23 high, 24 low, I think it would have given him a really good gap. He's striding out really well down the back straight, but he's starting to get lactic. He told me after this point he felt like his shoulders were gone and he was carrying weights. As the other guys start to close on him, they're starting to eat into that lead, and here he just loses that kind of spring in his step and drops into the silver medal position. But still, if you'd have told him he was going to get a silver medal this weekend, he'd have been really, really happy with it. There's just obviously a frustration that he knows he could have done that little bit better. But this is why we train. We need these moments to kick us up the backside a little bit.
So I'm now back from Sheffield. It's been a really good day at the Northerns. The goal going in was for both Fran and Zach to make the finals. They both moved up an age group, and it was their first proper competition in those age groups, and they both did it. They both did PBs in their heats, both got automatic qualifications for the finals, and ultimately they both got medals. Fran came away with a bronze and Zach got a silver. There was a little bit of disappointment for Zach because the time didn't reflect the shape he's in, but this is racing, and especially indoor racing. All the boys' times were a little bit down on what you might expect, but he came away with a medal and with a big hunger for training and more to come, which is what you want. You want that motivation, you want that fight. Fran, she took nearly 2 seconds off her PB, but we have a big goal this year, and it's to get down into the 56s, really low 56s. If she can do that indoors, everything's looking really good for the 4 hurdles outdoors. Away from Sheffield, Laura absolutely smashed it out in Germany in the 400 meters. Her goal indoors again was to get the German qualifier. The B standard was like 56.5. She dropped to 56.04. So in her first ever indoor 400 race, quicker than her outdoor PB. Can't ask for any more than that. So really, really good day for those 3. However, it's not always... Oh, Will as well. Will dropped a little PB in the hurdles in Loughborough. It's not always sunshine and rainbows though. Both David and Evan, they were taking on heptathlons. David in Spain and Evan in Ireland. And both of them didn't have good times. It just didn't go well. A few things went wrong in both of their performances, and through a combined event, sometimes it snowballs. Evan ended up not finishing because a few things went wrong, leading to him not finishing the hurdles. And yeah, David got through it, but he just wasn't in the right place. So as much as it's amazing that I've got 4 of them with PBs, but I've got 2 of them who are disappointed. But this is indoor season, this is the program, this is part of my job, is to keep them going, pick them up, and no doubt in a month's time when they go again, or a couple of weeks' time, they're going to do even better. And yeah, this is all part of the process, and I'm going to document that good and bad. I could have easily missed out Evan and David's performances, but it's worth noting that out of a group of 6 athletes competing, yes, 4 might have a great time, 2 might have a really bad time, but it's all part of it, and next time it might be the other way around. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments things that you want to see from the next competitions or from training and stuff, and please subscribe to the channel.